Gamebox Monthly sends a new awesome indie tabletop game right to your door every month. There are multiple subscriptions to choose from, and you can personalize them to fit your style. Also, you're guaranteed to never get a title you already have, letting you focus on what matters most, having a great time with great people.
So visit GameboxMonthly.com and use the promo code DRAGON to get an exclusive discount just for the Hell With This listeners.
Once again, that's GameboxMonthly.com.
Rediscover social. Oh, sweet heavenly Jesus.
Jimmy.
Oh, man, it's almost like no one likes me. No one's sitting next to me. I'm so alone.
Wow. Wait, but I'm right here.
I'm right here, Chad.
Hello,
I'm so
Chad.
alone.
Can you not see me?
Welcome back to another episode of The Hell With This, where we present a movie that one of us likes to another person who may or may not have seen it.
And
this
today,
week,
we even have 3 people.
we've got 3 people.
My name is Mark Heiliger.
I am Chad Peter.
Steve Phelan. Although apparently I'm in Patrick Swayze mode since you didn't realize I was sitting right next to you.
That reference went totally over my
Ghost.
head.
You never
Ghost.
seen Ghost?
Oh, man.
You never saw Ghost?
Of course I saw Ghost.
Ah,
It's one of the best movies ever made.
yes.
Actually, I still love that. Every time I see it,
It's a great movie.
It is.
the effect of the ghosts like coming off of the ground.
Oh, the
What are
shadow.
the shadow
Oh,
things?
yeah.
That's very scary.
They take Tony Goldwyn away. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and Tony Goldwyn looks exactly the same.
These days, I
These
know.
days.
It's like
Like he is.
he's taken some sort of serum. He's signed away his soul to something.
Amazingly,
Steve, you might
we are
have
not
to
watching Ghost today.
Steve, cuddle up. I
All
think
right.
you're a little far away.
All right, I'm here.
So, how you been?
Pretty
you were
good.
You were on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was not here.
That's true. Which one was that? That was Scarecrow. It was the one
Scarecrow.
that I put
That
together.
was your
yeah.
choice.
Yeah, thank you. And
Where the whole idea of this week's episode came from, because you guys talked about Dredd on the podcast. I know
have
you don't
no
remember
recollection of that.
because no one else listens to the podcast
well, no,
besides me.
I was listening to it. I remember Paris, Texas, and I was expecting that would be what we'd.
Oh,
end
it will
up.
be. It will be.
I can't wait for that one.
It will be.
I have not seen that. That'll
Exactly.
be new for me.
We want to watch you watch it.
Yeah.
We want to watch you watch it, Mark.
But today is
Slower.
Dredd. How you been in life?
Been in life pretty good. Few gigs here and there, doing a short film this month. Been doing a lot of voiceover auditions lately, and Claire and I are on transfer number 2 right now
What
for the embryo adoption.
How's it going?
So far, so good. I mean, it's one of those situations where we've got these day 6 embryos. One thawed, went really well. The transfer happened literally on, what was it, Friday?
Oh wow! So it's nice and fresh.
Yeah, very, very fresh. Oh, it was actually, no, it was Thursday.
Fresh zygotes.
Fresh embryos. But, no, as far as we can tell, you just, it's in there. That's all I can say. I'll have a better idea on the 20th when they do one more blood test to see how things are progressing. But Claire thinks she's feeling specific symptoms already, but she's also like, might be psychological, not sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Placebo.
Yep. We'll see. We're very hopeful.
And what's the short film?
The short film is a couple who actually are producing it. I don't know much about the production team, but I just have this little bit part of a guy who's in a comic shop telling these kids about their amazing powers that are out there in the world. That's
Wait,
it.
like actually existing like superpowers?
Yeah. Yep. That's all I can say at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The power
Wait, you don't want
to
to
move
break
you.
your NDA on a short film?
Well, I actually haven't signed anything technically, but it'll come. Aside from that, we actually got done with the reshoots we needed on the other short, the 48-hour film festival short that kind of fell into my lap that we've decided to keep producing. So we've been doing some polishes on that, and that's almost in picture lock. So I'm really excited about that.
A 48-hour film has turned into...
Oh god,
ongoing.
It's just turned into a short film, guys.
Yeah, right. It's something that never ends.
It's so funny because one of our production team, she's just like, "Oh, I just wish this would be over with. Why is it taking so long?" And I'm like, "It's not. Like, for a movie that's this caliber with no money, this is what happens. This is the way it goes. You know, these things take time."
If you want it to be inexpensive and good, it is also slow.
Precisely.
If you want it to be fast and good, then it's going to be expensive.
Yep.
Everybody out there, I want you to put up your beer glasses.
Beer glasses.
Or bottles.
And celebrate with us. I don't know what we're celebrating, but
Cheers.
Another episode of the
another
Hell with Us.
episode
I'll
of drinking and debauchery.
Celebrate actually being in the same room with Chad
Yeah,
Peter.
it's been since, Rumblefish?
Since before you became a member of the club.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not officially a member of the club.
Oh, you're in training, and I have all the faith in the world in you. Don't fuck it up before then, dude.
Jesus. so much stress. Mark, look at all the stuff you have to look forward to.
Join us, Mark.
Join us.
Join us.
We're talking about the Marriage Club now.
Right, yes. So today we're watching Dredd, a movie which Mark and I have seen.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen it. You have not seen it. But you have seen, I'm guessing, the Stallone version.
I saw some of the Stallone version, and I'm very much aware of the...
I am the law.
Yeah, I am the law. I'm very much aware of the controversy of that particular production, and I know that in the comics, the controversy was that as Judge Dredd, he was never supposed to take his helmet off.
Yeah,
but because he was Sylvester Stallone, he's like, I'm taking this thing off because I'm Sylvester Stallone. And so a lot of comic purists, they're like, no, done. Right. They denounced it.
I mean, that movie was a travesty.
I saw that movie a year and a half ago or so just to revisit it, and it was a very middle ground, like 5 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10, let's say, action Hollywood movie. Like, it wasn't a train wreck as an audience member. It was just, like, not wonderful.
But one of Rob Schneider's best, I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Better than The Animal, better than The Hot Chick.
Here's a question. Now, is it better or worse than Demolition Man?
No.
Yeah,
way worse.
Nothing can touch
Demolition Man is pretty amazing.
It really isn't anywhere close.
Enhance your
I still don't know how to use the seashells.
I mean, that movie... Was that before... When did that movie come out? Demolition Man.
92, 93?
I want to say 93.
Was it...
And Judge Dredd was like 94.
Was that the first time that we saw her?
Sandra Bullock?
Sandra Bullock?
She was in,
or was she in
Love
Speed first?
Potion.
She was in like some romantic comedies.
Yeah.
And
okay.
That may have been her biggest like thing to date.
It was definitely that era, though.
Yeah, I think Demolition Man came before Speed. Speed, I think, was 95.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, 95.
And that's another one I need to watch again. Because I haven't watched it since I moved to LA.
It's a masterpiece.
And, like, they still use that damn... Well, I guess the whole place where they did La La Land on the highway.
Uh-huh.
At the beginning. The beginning scene is actually the same stretch of road that they did the bus jump in Speed.
Nice. It's so funny. Like, literally last night, out of nowhere, Joe Morton jumped into my brain, and all I could hear was, "You're fired! You're all fucking fired!"
What do you expect from this movie?
I don't know. I'm excited.
What have you heard about it, first of all?
I've heard that it's closer to the comic book stylings. Karl Urban, he's Dredd, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he keeps
He
keeps the mask on the entire time. I'm a fan of Karl Urban, so
he seems like a big nerd who got in really great shape.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he sounds like a country star, but that's just, But, I mean, when did he really just showed up in Lord of the Rings, right? And that was really his first real...
I think so.
Because I don't remember ever having seen him before that.
He was the bad guy in the second Jason Bourne movie.
He was the bad guy in the second Jason Bourne movie?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even remember that at all.
There's a big climactic car chase, and Karl Urban is the guy who's chasing Jason Bourne.
What was this? Was it Born? It wasn't Ultimatum or Supremacy, was it? What was the second one?
The second one was Supremacy.
Supremacy. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw the second one.
Oh, it's my
To
favorite
be
one.
honest. Really? Well, the first one was
They're
great.
all downhill. After
Anyway,
the
that's a
second
whole other podcast. I guess there's not too much to talk about before this. I mean, the thing I liked about this movie was that it got to the point and it didn't stray from it.
What can you tell me about the director, Peter Travis?
Pete Travis? I don't know.
one. I don't know anything about Pete Travis.
We'll find out more.
Sounds good.
Should we just watch this?
Yeah, that way I can actually sneeze.
Okay.
Do it now.
And 3,
Do
2, 1.
We're good. We're good. No, it's not gonna happen.
Oh, that's like
We're good.
No, you don't suck it down. You gotta get it out.
you just got blue balled. This is the worst. I can't stop sneeze.
Oh, usually I have big anticipations for a sneeze when they come, and then sometimes I anticipate them so much that I don't have to after the fact. So it's like, oh come on!
It went away.
It's so bad. Oh man. On that note,
800 million people living in the ruin of the old world. Only one thing fighting for order in the chaos. The men and women of the Hall of Justice.
Peachtrees is the manufacturing base for all the slow-mo in Mega City 1.
You know how often we get a judge up in Peachtrees?
Well, you got one now.
She has control of everything. Levels 1 to 200.
This is Mama. Somewhere in this block are 2 judges.
That's not good.
I want him dead.
We're gonna have to go through him. Rookie, you ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
Fire!
Judgment time.
Let's finish this.
Law is not the law. I'm the law. Negotiations over. The sentence is death.
so Dredd. Better than the first one.
For sure.
Wow. Well, I gotta tell you, like, realizing that it was basically meant for 3D viewing, absolutely no doubt.
Yeah. And I never saw it in 3D when it first came out.
I did.
Did you see it in the theater? Or?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. And that's why I was paying so much attention to all the weird, like, noise, the video grain and stuff in there, because of, like, man, for, like, a big budget 3D movie, this is a very weird looking movie.
So how did that digital grain look in 3D? Did it do anything to the spatial?
No, it wasn't like on its own layer. I think they just kind of
That'd be
left
crazy.
it in both the left and the right. So at least it was consistent.
I've seen like even the Epic Dragon cameras, like the sensor just gets kind of fucked up over time, and if they don't black level the camera, like to see like where the pixels might be failing or something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it's obviously some weird technical glitch that's happening, but I don't even mind it. I mean, there's no way that they went through all of post-production on this movie and they went, I never noticed that before.
Right.
Like, they left it in there on purpose. They could have painted it out for...
It's a gritty
bunch of money.
movie. I mean, they clearly seem to be using multiple kind of cameras.
It
like,
really,
it was
still
almost
fits
like
in. It gives the movie itself a kind of neon feel.
yeah, kind of like little pocket cameras that just like crank the ISO, grainy as fuck, and then the gain is just so crazy. But
Maybe one of those Canon cinema cameras. What are those? Is it a C series?
C100s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because this came out 2008.
Oh wow, has it really been that long?
It's been a while. So the
Holy
cameras.
shit.
I mean, the Red one would have only just come out.
I'm trying to think. It was I used to work for Reliance Media Works, which was a one of the companies behind this movie. But this movie came out after I did not work for them anymore. So how long ago was that? Let's see. Let's do the math. 5, 6, 7. I want to say like 2009. But, you know, same neighborhood, I guess.
This is before I came back to Los Angeles then. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this came out around that time. Because it was right around the same time I came back, too. But I remember a lot of people really loving this movie when it came out.
I was one of them. I still love this movie.
Just because it was like... It was... I don't remember if it got panned by critics or not.
It did okay. It was like kind of...
It just
it's an action movie.
No one really saw it because it failed at the box office.
Yeah. They're still trying to make a sequel TV series, but...
It must have done well enough that... I think I read that they still made their money back.
Probably. I feel like everything makes its money back eventually.
I would love to see them... If they're talking about doing a TV series of this with Karl Urban, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be... Like, the fans would be all over that shit.
Yeah. Stevie P would...
I think it would definitely serve for a stronger storyline. This basically felt like a ride to me. Yeah. One thing that I did like about it, in a world of superhero and comic book movies, they're just like, boom, here's Dredd. You don't need to know anything about him. Just fucking roll with him.
They don't even talk about his history. They don't talk about anything about him.
It's only implied by the other characters.
Yeah, when they say...
these other judges show up and is like, do you know who's out there? I do.
Right.
So I need $1 million to even attempt killing him.
Yeah. So it's clear that he has a history, but that's it. That's all we know about him.
Right. Well, the thing... I guess we should let Steve talk before I go off like a fucking nerd and tell you all the reasons I love this movie.
Honestly, I want you to go off like a fucking nerd because I gotta hear... not that I didn't enjoy it, but there were definitely things about it that I was taken aback by with regard specifically to the third act.
Okay.
That third act happened and the choices that were made, I was befuddled.
Well, it is a very basic plot. Structure. We're stuck in a giant 200-story building, and Judge Dredd and his partner, Anderson, have to fight their way from the ground floor all the way to the top. That's the plot.
Die hard in a building.
It's one... It's like One Direction. There's not a lot of...
The band One Direction?
Yeah. But the thing I like about that is it feels like an 80s movie by John Carpenter. Yeah. It feels like Assault on Precinct 13, except the roles are reversed. Now it's two cops trying to break into the criminals' base of operations instead of a gang trying to break into a police station.
Gotcha.
You said it was a lot like the French movie. I've never seen it. What's the one about the building that you were talking?
The Raid.
That's what I said. The Raid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it French? I don't think it was French.
Was it?
Thai.
Yeah. See,
it was a Thai
see what happens when you don't watch movies. You just assume they're French.
Yeah.
But on the John Carpenter thing
in the Raid, was the martial arts they were using?
Oh, tons of
Taekwondo.
Ha! Oh,
I don't know anything about martial arts.
Hashtag stupid dumb American. No, but with regard to what you were saying with John Carpenter, like specifically with the music, I turned to you and I said, "Is that music from Escape from New York?"
Yeah, but it's got that very...
It just has the
very synth-driven...
The music to me is like, it's perfect for this movie though, because it's just like...
It's just driving. It exists only to push the scene forward. It's not like going up and down. It's just like boom.
But it's
got the same attitude as Dredd.
As the
He's
script.
Just going forward.
The same attitude as the script too. Just kind of like, let's keep going.
Yeah. And all that together, it seems like...
I used to hate movies like that, to be honest, because I wanted the 2.5-hour James Cameron plot line, that just kept going and circled back around at the end. But
I mean, I'll have to admit that The Raid has much better fighting, because in this movie they kind of throw elbows and knees around, and that's
the
it.
Style.
They're just getting through the fights. The Raid is obviously there to showcase the fighting. It's about that.
Right.
And John Wick is showcasing the gun fights.
I still need to see the John Wicks. I've been staying away from.
I've never seen it.
You got to get on that shit, guys.
Well, it's hard because I don't know if I've told you, but when it comes to movies, specifically with my wife, who's She's in. I mean, it's funny the way that you say it, because I have an issue with trying to watch John Wick movies because of my wife, who's in healthcare. So she sees a lot of like heavy duty stuff, and then she'll come home and she just wants to unwind and watch something mindless and fun and, easy. There are times where we'll watch a movie together, and at any point, if it seems like some child or some animal is in jeopardy, particularly an animal, like say you see a dog. We'll pause it and go to doesthedogdie.com. I kid you not.
And John Wick is big yes.
Yeah.
It's big yes.
Big yes.
I mean, that's the motivating action that makes the rest of the movie happen.
Yeah. Not to spoil John Wick 2, but I might see that sooner than I'll see the first one. But we'll see. We'll see.
I've never seen either of them, so.
Yeah, but aside from what you were saying with the martial arts, it's obvious that this movie was about action and spectacle.
Yeah.
Spectacle was big.
And, well, part of the spectacle is, I think this movie was basically a commercial to other production companies and filmmakers for slow motion cinematography. Because they have this drug in the movie called slow-mo. When you take it, everything slows down to like 1/10 of the speed. And it doesn't serve any use in the plot, really, except for making people feel more pain in slow motion. But
maybe the viewers, because we're like, yes, I get it. Like, you talk about this.
It's very pretty.
In the beginning, the movie does not go, because there are quite a few times where the movie will literally slow down because of 1%. The slow-mo experience.
Right.
And so you'll be watching the slow-mo experience. They will then explain the slow-mo experience, and then you'll see kind of a rehash of a quasi-slow-mo experience. It takes a while for the movie to get going.
If I had one problem about the movie, it was the slow-mo scenes, if only because, it clearly was made for a 3D in-theater experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how I saw it.
I mean, it's pretty in 2D, but it doesn't have that.
It would actually be a 55-minute movie without all those scenes.
No.
This is a stoner action film, now that I think about it. It's basically a stoner action film.
Yeah.
You want to watch this, you want to drop something, go for it. And you'll enjoy it. You'll have an experience. But in 2D sober land, it's like, okay, that's nice. Let's keep going.
You think the DOD would get a hold of the slow-mo and just launch it on enemy villages and just
be like, wow,
slow everyone down as they just walk in there.
Well, another aspect of the movie I like a lot is the fact that this is just another day in the life of a judge.
Right.
Like, at the end of the movie, all this shit has gone down. Dozens of people have been murdered over drugs and money. And Jared's captain, or whoever she is, she shows up and is like, hey, what's been going on here? And he just says, drug bust.
Yeah.
And then he goes off to go on to the next case.
Basically just went through war.
Right. There was thousands of lives at stake over the last 24 hours, and he's just like, another day, another dollar.
Speaking of 1,000 lives at stake, spoiler alert, the way he decided to do away with Mama, I'm sorry, that was just idiotic in my brain. Please try to explain that choice to me.
I see it. Well, okay, we got to set the scene for listeners. That Mama is the head of the gang that's doing all this drug stuff in the block, and she has put up a sensor on her wrist connected to her heartbeat, and if she dies, explosives will go off in the whole building, and everybody inside this humongous 200-story building will die. And Judge Dredd says, I don't think the signal will reach through 200 floors of concrete. So he dumps her over the edge of a balcony, and she hits the floor a kilometer above ground.
Yeah, it doesn't just hit the floor, but dives face first into the floor, 200 stories up.
And it doesn't go off. It worked. It's too far away for the thing to trigger the bombs. I look at that and I go, that guy's smart. And he was looking for any excuse to try and kill this woman.
I mean,
okay.
He clearly doesn't value the lives of anyone in the building to begin with. Just
he is a judge. That's what they do.
He knows that
people are guilty. he has to execute them.
He knows that the Peachtree's complex, the mini city, is like just a scum-infested shithole, basically.
Well, if you think about it, it's like, what, the top 50 floors? You gotta think
But
that...
then the rest would collapse and everything would...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I mean, they said, what, it was 96% unemployment rate?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially just meat for the grinder who live in there.
Uh-huh. It's, the thing I like about it is whether or not you like the story as a whole, because there's not much of a story.
No, it's simple.
It's
super simple, but it doesn't...
The only arc is for Anderson, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
She goes in not sure that she'll be a good judge, but she's psychic and she wants to do it and make the world a better place. And at the end, she kind of walks away from it like, it's a drop in the bucket. Change this shit.
What was good about it, though, is that it doesn't, like... It wasn't bad in a way that would take you away from making more.
Yeah, the universe.
It makes
is
you
very
want.
well
I don't. At least it
established.
made me want to see more of the universe, even if there's questionable decisions made in this one.
Well,
is there any question that Anderson's gonna? She might make it through 5 battles or something before she's killed if they're all like this.
I think she is a main character in the comics, so I believe they'll figure her out and she'll be fine.
Not even Dredd was a lead.
No, he was, but Anderson was like another main character in the comics.
Did she exist in the Stallone film?
No. At the end of this movie, it did show her with her helmet kind of walking out of a gate. So I guess the idea is she's going to stick with it. She'll keep trying. Mm-hmm. But I think I sort of get where Steve's coming from. He's willing to risk blowing up the whole building just to get one drug lord off the streets or whatever.
Right.
And it does sort of speak to the fascist nature of the judge system in this world.
Like, I guess
they're walking around if 96% of the building is unemployed, lots of people are living in poverty. There's like a homeless guy living inside the doorway to this huge building.
He's about to arrest.
Like, you're gonna get 2 weeks in jail if you don't get out of here. Like, he's even willing to dispense justice down to that level. That's what defines the character. And it's not supposed to be...
He's effectively a Nazi.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
Without the anti-Semitism and, he's not going on an ethnic purge or something. He's doing what he does.
You can root for it because it's fiction. If this were in reality, it would be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. However, I do think because they, at the beginning and end, they show the whole city in a sort of pseudo-documentary style with like these long helicopter shots and everything. They've shown just how expansive the world is, and there's so much more room for more stories to be told. I know they've been doing the comics for like 40 years or something.
Yeah, and honestly, like, my issue with Judge Dredd might be something that a lot of the, fanboys and fangirls hold dear about the character.
Yeah.
But
it's just good, clean, bloody fun.
Yeah.
It is not supposed to translate to real life. You can't go around treating people like Judge Dredd does.
Apparently.
There was definitely... Did you feel, as gory as this movie is, it felt reserved?
There were times that I felt the gore looked over-sensationalized.
And yet...
You had the really bright, loud, fake imitation blood. Then you had the real dark, stark blood. You would have shots that were quick and fast, but then there would be moments of absolute gore that were just... we were screaming at them.
A skinned human body hitting the ground from 200 stories up.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Yep. Or blowing off of a dude's face with an incendiary bullet.
Yeah, the explosive one.
Literally watching his face melt from inside. That was phenomenal.
Oh, at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're like blowing through an entire level.
With heavy machine guns.
Machine guns and like hitting people, and it looks like they just got shot with a 9mm. Like, ow!
Right,
it should have.
The shells look humongous, tearing into the buildings. But
all those people were getting shot after the bullet has already passed through a few concrete walls, so it slowed down. It was just enough to kill him.
Pish posh.
The velocity of that bullet has been slowed dramatically. I mean, it's some of that cinematic ultra violence that people go for often.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't have more people flocking to see this.
I think because the title was, the official title was Dredd 3D, I believe. Like I said that on the billboard.
Which is weird.
So some people went like, huh, did I miss the second one?
Really? I saw that and I was like, I don't want to see a 3D movie.
A lot of people thought that too. And a lot of people remembered the Sylvester Stallone one and go like, what the hell are they making that for?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a B movie, and it is. It's just a really good version of a B movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely some moments where, like I had pointed out, the chroma feel.
This is not the best TV. I've complained to Mark before, but he says...
You can buy me a new one anytime.
That's exactly what he says to me when I say that. But, you know...
Go ahead.
We could adjust
I'll take a nice
65
inch in here if you want. No, I've got like a Blu-ray for color balancing. I've already done. This is as good as it gets with this monitor. Trust me.
But I mean, it's not like I'm sure this doesn't look great on anything really.
Well, if
it looks probably grainy as fuck.
Yeah, if it was like that in the theater, it's gonna have that quality no matter what.
Right. So I mean, good, straightforward, bloody B movie.
Glad I saw it.
Point A to point B.
Yeah, very.
It doesn't.
This is the point of the podcast.
It doesn't necessarily go on any longer than it needs to, with a few exceptions of the slow mo.
Yeah, at the beginning, but we understand what the function of those were. So
yeah,
I would like to see it in 3D at some point.
Yeah, but I think I'd only want to see it in a theater at that.
Precisely.
I bet it's one that they would get back at the new Bev someday.
Someday, yeah, I could see it, especially if a TV show takes off and it's done right.
There's already a big enough cult following. If you go to any Comic-Con in the country, there's going to be at least 4 people dressed up like a judge. Maybe with their own name on the badge. You know.
4?
I'm just like at San Diego Comic-Con, there's probably going to be a dozen people dressed in that costume.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you go to like the New York Comic-Con, there'd be 5 or 6.
It varies. Ash vs. Dead TV show kind of has a similar point A to point B structure to it from what I've seen.
You just barrel through.
Just barrels right through. It just tries to stay fun. It realizes that it's just a B schlock, whatever.
Yeah, it is either an action or an Ash vs. Evil Dead horror comedy delivery mechanism.
Right.
That's what it's for. It's what it's built for, and it achieves that goal very well. But I don't know if we're supposed to take away any moral learnings.
No,
obviously.
I would say the opposite.
I mean, at the end of the day, like even Judge Dredd, who was like, he's told about Anderson's failing test scores, and he's like, it's not marginal. She failed. She shouldn't be out here. And at the end, he gives her a pass. So even he,
he definitely wouldn't have survived this without her.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah,
even he is not an unthinking death machine.
Well. Although, honestly, tell me the truth. Would you have rather seen him kill Mama and then like thrust his fist into her chest cavity and just keep her heart pumping until
I wonder.
That'd be like a fantastic grindhouse third act.
Yeah.
I'd have been sold on that one.
You want to know what ending I wanted to see? Like, because he basically, what did he? He basically punched her through the window.
Yes.
Well, he didn't.
Punched
he
her
just
through the
pushed
glass.
her.
What if the glass was so strong he just punched a hole through her, and the glass did not shatter? And then he just goes, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
As the sensor goes, blows up the entire.
Or another thing, if he just killed her anyway, and he didn't have a plan for how to get the sensor further away, like in the movie, there could have been something else, like the hacker guy with the weird eyeballs.
Yeah.
They could have written it so he did something that disabled the explosives.
I would have been on board for that,
yeah,
too.
because then he would have been like the big hero at the end, and Dredd would just be like, I was expecting more explosions.
Guess I need to show leniency to this little turd.
Don't most of those like devices though, when they go out of range, it triggers them anyway?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I've never had a heart monitor plugged into my wrist.
Well, it's like there's some. It's like I think like a car. car clicker. You know, sometimes those when they run out of battery, like
It'll start, like,
it'll
triggering
actually
automatically.
set off the alarm, and you can't turn it on and everything else.
I don't know. I get it's the future.
Because
And
movie,
we
guys.
Yeah.
Because movie.
Yeah, we're questioning
The good thing
the
about
logic
science
of
fiction is that it
Dredd.
can do what it has to do. It doesn't. It's not beholden to real life rules.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it.
Deal with it, Steve.
I did enjoy it. It was definitely entertaining.
I think that the movie wouldn't have worked without the Anderson character. I do feel that, because at least with her, you got some sense of story, and even though you don't know anything about him, you don't need to.
Yeah.
There's something to like.
Dredd is just the idea of what their justice system is like, really.
And you really don't know anything about her either, outside of
She's a
she
mutant.
does say what's happened to her in the past, but yeah, we know she's a mutant.
She has psychic abilities.
powers.
And she's one of the only hot mutants, apparently.
Yeah, the rest are all
It's
messed
quite
up.
handy, actually. I don't know why he would complain about having a psychic with him
Yeah.
who can
Inexperienced
read
kid.
minds. Yeah, she might get him killed, but you know.
Aside from that.
Right. Well, I think that's it for this episode of The Hell With This. Any last words, fellas?
I am the law.
At least it didn't come out, I am the law!
I am the law.
I
am the law. Imagine if Artie said it. I am the law. I am the law. I don't know. That's about all I got.
It's Dragon Wagon.